Please remember to subscribe to our channel and click on the notification bell to be notified of new videos and live streams.
الله ربي والإسلام ديني ومحمدا رسول الله ويقيني.
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونتوب إليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له واشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له واشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله الطيبين والطاهرين وأصحابه المقربين إلى يوم الدين وبعد. عباد الله، أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله وطاعته فقد فاز المتقون. عباد الله، قال الله تعالى إنما المؤمنون إخوة. قال الله تعالى في القرآن الكريم بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Verily, the believers are brothers. Such a short, concise phrase that a person achieves or receives by a token of the shahada, meaning as soon as a person enters into Islam or has the shahada or is Muslim, they are automatically brothers or sisters or brothers, sisters in deen. Automatically. It comes with this faith. This faith is a connection with our God, Jalla Jalaluhu, is a connection with our Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and is a connection with everybody who says La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. This brotherhood, this fraternity, this mu'akhat, this comes automatically with Islam. Allah did not command us to become brothers, to form this brotherhood. No, that is not possible. It is not possible for human beings to forge this ummatic global brotherhood. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَأَلَّفَ بَيْنَ قُلُوبِهِمْ لو أنفقت ما في الأرض جميعا ما ألفت بين قلوبهم ولكن الله ألف بين قلوبهم ولكن الله ألف بين قلوبهم إنه عزيز حكيم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, He is the one who put this ulfa, who put this kindness, mercy, connection, tenderness between their hearts. If you were to spend everything in this earth, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's talking to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you, O Muhammad, Nabiyullah wa Rasul wa Khatim al-Anbiya wa Khairul Khalq wa Aqrabuhum ila Allah. If you, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, spent everything in this world, everything, all resources, all people, all things, you would not have been able to do it. So if the Prophet ﷺ, equipped with all the resources in the world, is not able, then we are not able. وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ أَلَّفَ بَيْنَهُم. But it is Allah who did it. إِنَّهُ عَزِيزٌ حَكِيمٌ. Verily, He is the Almighty and He is all the wise. Al-Hakim means two things: the wise and the one whose hukum is certain, whose judgment is certain. So, by being Muslim comes with Islam. Allah didn't command us to be brothers, to forge it, because it's not possible. He is the one who did it. And He says, فيما أخرجه الشيخان عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال مثل المؤمنين في توادهم وتراحمهم وتعاطفهم كمثل الجسد إذا اشتكى منه عضو تداعى له سائر الجسد بالسحر والهمة. He says, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that the example of believers in their mutual kindness, compassions, and sympathies are like a single body. describing. We're a single body. Should a single limb of that body suffer from pain, affliction, then the entire body will suffer with fever and the inability to sleep, staying awake. Fever because they feel the pain of another brother. Inability to sleep because they are anxious and worried and care for the welfare of their fellow brother. And this was the example. This is what a believer looks like. This is what comes with Islam. So what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? He did command us to do something. It wasn't to forge brotherhood. He did it already. What did he say in the same verse? إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَ أَخْوَيْكُمْ. So then he commands us. فَهَذْ إِصْلَاح is a command. And a command in Arabic in the Quran from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala means that it is an obligation. It is not a choice that we have. If whosoever wishes to follow the path commanded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then they must do this. فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَ أَخْوَيْكُمْ. Have islah, fix matters, repair things, keep things good, have salah, have righteousness, nurture a sense of goodness, a sense of propriety, a sense of supporting each other, everything pleasing to Allah, and supporting each other in distancing from everything displeasing from Allah. That is the command. فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَ أَخْوَيْكُمْ. Islah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in his kindness and gentleness, did to believers, to this ummah, did not leave it up to us to figure out how to have islah between us. Either in the Quran, which we will get to, or in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, he taught us. Of that, in a Hujurat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا يسخر قوم من قوم عسى أن يكون خيرا منهم. O those who believe, and we have said repeatedly that every time in the Quran it says يا أيها الذين آمنوا, every single time what comes next is tashri', is legislation. Either Allah is telling us to do something or telling us not to do something. So it is a condition of Iman. The completion of Iman requires what comes next. لا يسخر قوم من قوم. Let no people belittle or think themselves superior to another people. عسى أن يكونوا خيرا منهم. It could be the case that the people that you see as inferior could be better and a higher status with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَا نِسَاءٌ مِّن نِسَاءٍ, in no one group of women for another group of women. عَسَى يَكُنَّ خَيْرًا مِّنْهُنْ. Perhaps they are better than them. وَلَا تَلْمِزُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَلَا تَنَابَزُوا بِالْأَلْقَابِ. And do not humiliate each other. And do not call each other with names that are hurting to it, with names that the other dislikes, names that are unbecoming. بِئْسَ الِاسْمُ الْفُسُوقُ بَعْدَ الْإِيمَانِ. So, how terrible is the word of corruption after Iman? How terrible is it that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us, by virtue of being Muslim, this connection with each other, that we then work towards spoiling, dividing, weakening those bonds. That's a terrible thing. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَتُوبْ. It is an action necessitating tawbah. That is it. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَتُوبْ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الظَّالِمُونَ. And whosoever does not repent, then they are indeed the oppressors. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اجْتَنِبُوا كَثِيرًا مِّنَ الظَّنِّ إِنَّ بَعْدَ الظَّنِّ إِثْمٌ. Oh, those who believe, what comes next for this Iman? What else do I need to know about this Iman? And to preserve this relationship between brothers, preserve the gift. What did Allah say to the Prophet ﷺ? If you spend everything in this world, you could not do it. Allah already gave it to you, gave it to this ummah. So preserve it. How? اجتنبوا كثيرا من الظن. Beware Stay away, refrain from, distance yourself from excessive suspicion. Inna ba'da dhanni ithm. Verily, excessive suspicion is sinful. وَلَا تَجَسَّسُوا. And do not spy on each other. What does it mean to spy on each other? To spy on each other means that you change your course of action in order to investigate the affairs of another that are hidden to you. So you're going, oh, I heard this guy's like this, I'm going to go out of my way, I'm going to listen to what they're doing, I'm going to follow them. Allah says, don't do it. It's not permitted, it is haram. If Allah has concealed their faults, Alhamdulillah. If they are sinful, so what? It is between them and Allah. And inshallah, Allah conceal them and Allah forgive them. It is not up to us to go investigate. He asks us fiqh regarding this. If it affects the community and whatnot, it's a different matter. وَلَا تَجَسَّسُوا وَلَا يَغْتَبْ بَعْضُكُمْ بَعْضًا. And do not dislike each other. أَيُحِبُّ أَحَدُكُمْ أَن يَأْكُلَ لَحْمَ أَخِيهِ مَيْتًا فَكَرِهْتُمُوهُ. Would you like it that you would eat the flesh of your brother? So here, these guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how to preserve that gift that Allah has given us, that brotherhood. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, فيما أخرجه إمام مسلم عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إياكم الظن فإن ظن أكذب الحديث. Beware of suspicion, for verily suspicion is the worst of hadith, of communication, of mediums. وَلَا تَحَسَّسُوا. And do not seek for the fault of your brother. Do not concentrate on their shortcomings. وَلَا تَجَسَّسُوا. And do not spy on each other. وَلَا تَنَافَسُوا. And in the narration, تَنَاجَشُوا, which is to outbid one another. So if a person is buying a car or buying a house, he submits an offer of 200,000. Which the houses of 200,000, 200,000, and then another person, a believer, knowing that this has been offered, says, "I'll give you 250." It is haram. If you know your brother has done it, leave it. وَلَا تَنَاجَشُوا وَلَا تَحَاسَدُوا. And do not be envious of each other. Do not look at one's gain and want it for yourself, but be happy for them. وَلَا تَحَاسَدُوا وَلَا تَبَاغَضُوا. And do not dislike each other. وَلَا تَدَابَرُوا. And do not cut ties with each other. وَكُونُوا عِبَادَ اللَّهِ إِخْوَانًا كَمَا أَمَرَكُمْ. But be Allah's servants as brothers, or brothers in Allah's servitude, as He has commanded you. This, as He has commanded you, what does it mean? It means to be brothers is a command from Allah, but not to be brothers or sisters as we want, as we deem fit, but as Allah has commanded. Not how we think is going to be good, but how Allah, how this deen, how this sharia, because Allah has commanded, has illustrated, has taught, has guided. Why? Because brotherhood was a gift from Allah. And He is the one who gave it, and He is the one who preserves it. How does He preserve it? He preserves it through this Quran. He preserves it through the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is how He preserves. The Sharia preserves it. Al-Muslim akhul Muslim. The Muslim is the brother of a Muslim. لا يظلمه. Does not oppress him. ولا يخذله. And does not cheat him. ولا يحقره. And does not belittle him. ويشير إلى صدره. التقوى ها هنا ويشير إلى صدره. Prophet ﷺ said, piety is here. Here it is. And he pointed to his heart. And in hadith, when the Prophet ﷺ has a physical action associated with a verbal action, then that indicates specificity. That taqwa is here and only here. بِحَسْبِ إِمْرِئٍ مِنَ الشَّرِّ أَنْ يَحْقِرَ أَخَاهُ مُسْلِمٍ. It is enough, it's sufficient. It is enough evil. This evil is enough. It's a big one. If you did nothing else, if you did no other bad, nothing to displease Allah except this one thing, which is to belittle your Muslim brother, that is enough evil. That is something that Allah will register, will take notice, to show how Allah dislikes it. بِحَسْبِ إِمْرِئٍ مِنَ الشَّرِّ أَنْ يَحْقِرَ أَخَاهُ مُسْلِمٍ. It is a sufficient evil for a Muslim to belittle their fellow Muslim. كل مسلم على مسلم حرام دمه وعرضه وماله. Every Muslim to a fellow Muslim, it is haram, the following. His blood, you cannot shed the blood of a Muslim out of unjustly and whatnot. And you cannot impugn their integrity. You cannot impugn, you guys understand? Impugn, you cannot you cannot disgrace them or humiliate them. Yeah? Okay. And maluhu, and his wealth. You cannot oppressively take people's wealth. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَنْظُرُ إِلَىٰ أَجْسَادِكُمْ وَلَا صُوَرِكُمْ وَلَكِنْ يَنْظُرُ إِلَىٰ قُلُوبِكُمْ وَأَعْمَالِكُم. Allah does not look at your bodies, at your physical forms and your shapes, but He looks at your hearts and He looks at your actions. What does He see in your heart? What is He looking for in your heart? What did the hadith say in the heart? What is it that is in the heart? Iman. That is what Allah is looking for. The Iman which is in your heart. That is where He looks. And Iman, that if it is there, if it is truly there, it leads to action, a'mal. This is why Allah looks at your faith, at your Iman, your niyyah, etc. and your actions that emanate from that Iman. It is the brotherhood of Islam. That is what we have with La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. That is an obligation for every Muslim to preserve the relationship with their fellow Muslim, and to build it, and to expand it, and to foster it. And there are reasons why. Because it is necessary, because it is critical to how Allah designed Islam to spread. Islam would not have been achieved were it not for the love of believers for each other. Were it not for this brotherhood, for this ummah, for this oneness of a heart, Islam would not be here. You know why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, before He says, وَلَفَ بَيْنَ قُلُوبٍ, that He united between the hearts, He says, وَإِن يُرِيدُ أَن يَخْدَعُوكَ فَإِنَّ حَسْبَكَ اللَّهُ. And if they wished, if the disbelievers wish to deceive you, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then sufficient for you is Allah. هُوَ الَّذِي أَيَّدَكَ بِنَصْرِهِ. It is Allah, He, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who supported you, who championed you with His nasr, with His victory. وَبِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ, and by believers. So this Islam, the time, the seerah, you think to yourself, how the Prophet ﷺ, Allah's revelation coming to him, doing the da'wah, people entering into Islam by answering the da'wah. They form what we call the Sahaba, and it was through them, through this formation, that Allah established this deen. Bil mu'mineen, brotherhood. And then He says He is the one who united between their hearts, etc. This deen will not spread. This deen will not advance unless it is through the believers. How? By people, by us, listening to the guidance and following the guidance Allah has set in the Quran. And the guidance set by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَ أَخْوَيْكُمْ. So have this Islam, have this goodness between you. And again, this is not an option. This is not one we get to choose or not choose. We either do it and comply with the command, or we do not do it and we transgress Allah's commands. That means we violate what Allah has told us we have to do. Either we are an agent to to bring each other together and unify and have strength in unity, or as Allah commanded, or we are the agent of division. There is only two, unity and division. And what did Allah say of division? وَقُلْ لِعِبَادِي يَقُولُوا الَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. And say to my servants, how does Allah refer to my servants? The one who submits to Allah, submits to His instructions. يَقُولُوا الَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. Say that which is good. إِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ يَنْزَغُ بَيْنَهُمْ. It is shaitan who divides between you. It is shaitan. It is his job. It is his mandate. It is his desire to divide between that which Allah wishes united. إن الشيطان كان للإنسان عدوا مبينا. Verily, shaitan is to humanity a manifest enemy. So if a person does an action that causes their fellow believer to distance their fellow believer, they know that that action is not from the action of Islam, nor is it an action pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it is the action in support of the devil. And the devil is laughing. Look at this chump. Look at this fool. Following my instructions, and Allah has told them otherwise. Following the deceiver, while our Lord, the Rahman, the Rahim, we transgress and disobey. Hayhat. Nobody listens to shaitan except that they will be humiliated. Nobody denies Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala except that they will lose. And there is no championship, there is no winning, there is no victory, there is no sharaf, there is no honor, there is no dignity, there is no standing except that which is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أقول ما تسمعون واستغفر لكم. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah alameen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmeen wa ba'd. Ibadallah. When the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, فيما أخرج الشيخان أبي موسى الأشعري رضي الله عنه النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إنما المؤمنين كالبنيان يشد بعضهم بعضا. Verily, believers. What is a believer? A mu'min is the one where Islam has entered their heart. Where Islam has entered their heart, where they believe, where they are convinced with that which Allah has guided. That is a mu'min, one who's convinced of it. So those people, Islam that is in here, in the heart, not just here in the head or in the lips, in the heart. They are like a building supporting each other. And how do you support each other? By following the guidelines of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And whosoever does that earns Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's pleasure, earns Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's support. فيما أخرجه الترمذي وأبي داود عن عبد الله بن عمر رضي الله عنهما أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال الراحمون يرحمهم الرحمن يرحموا من في الأرض يرحمكم من في السماء الراحم شحنة من الرحمن من وصلها وصله الله ومن قطعها قطعه الله وعياذ بالله. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, those who have rahmah and mercy, kindness, compassion for each other, then the Rahman will shower his kindness and compassion to you. Irhamu man fil ardi. Have this mercy, compassion, and kindness for each other in this earth. Yarhamukum man fis sama. That which is in the heavens will have mercy for you. You want the dua of the angels? You want the rida of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? It is contingent on supporting your fellow brother and sister in Islam, in dunya. The womb is named after Allah's name, Ar-Rahman. Rahim, the womb, is named after Allah's name, Ar-Rahman. Whosoever joins it, whosoever uh, doesn't cut ties, nurtures their ties of kin and whatnot, has good relations with their family, then Allah will have you connected to them. If you stay connected to your family, stay close to them, Allah will stay close to that person. And whosoever cuts ties, Allah cuts ties with them. So meaning that Allah's relationship with us is contingent on how we are related, how we preserve, we nurture, we repair the relations between us. فيما أخرجه الشيخان عن أبي هريرة المسلم أخو المسلم لا يظلمه ولا يسلمه. The Muslim is a brother of a Muslim, does not oppress him, nor does he lead him to his evil designs. Meaning that a Muslim will try to give nasiha to prevent their fellow Muslim from doing wrong. المسلم أخو المسلم لا يظلمه ولا يسلمه. من فرج عن المسلم كربة من كرب الدنيا إن الله في حاجة إن الله في حاجة عبده ما دام العبد في حاجة أخيه. Verily, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there to answer, to relieve the affairs of His servants, to answer your du'as, to be there to support you on condition that you are there to support your brothers and sisters in dunya. So you want Allah to alleviate these challenges that you have. You want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you that promotion. You want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help you stop your bad habits. You want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to find you a good wife or a good husband or repair your affairs with your wife and your children, etc. That is conditional. You want that? Then help your fellow brothers in Islam. من فرج عن المؤمنين كربة من كرب الدنيا فرج الله به عنها كربة من كرب يوم القيامة. And whosoever alleviates the difficulty for their brother in this world, in dunya, Allah will alleviate because of that action, will take away one of the difficulties of akhirah, of qiyamah. This is one of the greatest gifts Allah has given us. Why? Because you are kind, there to support your brother. Allah removes one of the difficulties of qiyamah. What is the difficulty of qiyamah? We've mentioned before, qiyamah is well known. When you are standing there and the sun is over your head, that is one of the difficulties of qiyamah. And people drowning in their sweat. When you're waiting to cross the sirat under which there is Jahannam. That is a difficulty of the difficulties of qiyamah. You want to be safe. We want to be protected from that. Then help your brothers and sisters in dunya. That is how Islam spreads. That is how Islam is strong. The Sahaba were not divided. The Sahaba were one. And because of that, Islam reached where it reached. It would not have spread the world over. We would not have Islam anywhere in the world were it not for their support as tawfiq, as Allah had written for them. And I ask you now, do you think that Islam is meant to stop now? Do you think that, okay, we've given Islam, that's it, we don't have to do anything? You think that is how you understand Islam? So how is it going to spread? How is this country going to be Muslim? How? When your lines are not straight, when you do not give salam to each other, when you do not invite each other to your homes for food. What did the Prophet ﷺ say when he first entered Medina? فيما أخرجه الترمذي عبد الله بن السلام رضي الله عنه. The Prophet ﷺ says, يا أيها الناس أفشوا السلام ووصلوا الأرحام وأطعموا الطعام وصلوا بالليل والناس نيام تدخلوا الجنة بالسلام. What did he say, sallallahu alaihi wasallam? O people, Spread the salam. That is one of the most important and easiest things. What is it? Not salam to the guy, not just the salam to the guy you already know. Not the salam to someone from your same passport country, whatever it is. Salam to the one you know and the one you do not know. Not the same circles every time, but have relations with all the different circles, inshallah. Wasilul arham. And remain connected with your kin. Join them. If it is broken, connect it. وَأَطْعِمُ الطَّعَامِ. How do you facilitate? How do you nurture? How do you grow this brotherhood? Feed each other. Invite each other to your homes. Especially the ones who have entered Islam and have nobody else. It doesn't matter if you do not know them. Get to know them. Share with them the brotherhood of Islam. We were born Muslim. We have felt it all our life. And those who were new are learning to feel it. But how can they experience it when Muslims do not behave as Muslims? When Muslims do not seek to unite between each other according to the guidance given by Al-Deen. At'imu ta'am. And stay connected to Allah. How? By praying at night while people are asleep. And by doing that, by doing these things, you will enter into Jannah. Salam, with peace, with safety. The affairs of the difficulties of Qiyamah not afflicting you, inshallah. So inshallah, from today, have an intention to put effort into strengthening the bonds between you. Today itself, give salam to somebody you do not know. Cultivate relations. Such is the beauty of Islam. Such is the sweetness of this brotherhood. عباد الله إن الله أمر بأمر بدأ فيه بنفسه وثنى بملائكته مسبحين بقدسه فقال إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل نبينا محمد كما باركت على نبينا إبراهيم وعلى آل نبينا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. Ya Allah, allow us to become believers haqqan. Allow our belief in Islam to enter our hearts. Allow our actions to be guided by your book and the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Grant us the courage to become brothers in deen. Grant us the courage to prioritize you over everything else. Grant us the sweetness of brotherhood in Islam. Grant us the sweetness of Iman. And as you have gifted it to us, preserve it in us always and never take it from us until the day we return to you in the state of the strongest Iman. And our happiest day, the day we stand in front of you. Allah, grant us everything that the Prophet ﷺ asked for and protect us from everything that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ sought protection from. And we ask protection from Al-Masih al-Dajjal. And we ask protection from the punishment and the torments of the grave. And we ask protection from the punishments and the torments of the hellfire. And we ask of you to guide us to Sirat al-Mustaqim and to preserve us on that path. والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين أقيم الصلاة رحمكم الله.
الله ربي والإسلام ديني ومحمدا رسول الله.